It's a delay. Good evening, everybody. I hope that you had a wonderful day. I have. I didn't get a chance to go outside today. I'm still having a little bit of trouble with a flare, but oh well. I'm the old lady that sits by the window and watches everybody else as they walk by. So let me get the people watch for a little while today. So I enjoyed that. Welcome to another episode of the Ladies Lounge. I'm your host, Wonder Lowe. I am excited about being here tonight. We have a great show lined up for you. We have some good information. I think it's going to help you in your quest this year for being healthy and well. So we're going to get to that in just a minute. Now, you know, I'm practicing tonight without reading stuff without my glasses on because my eyes are feeling kind of, better. I was going to lie, I said they're feeling younger, but they're not. They're just feeling better.
Just better.
Yeah, they just feel better. But anyway, so a little bit of housekeeping before we get into the show. First and always, thank you for everybody who tunes in every week, who watches the videos, who shares the videos, who likes the page, who visits us on Instagram, on YouTube. I appreciate you all. And YouTube folks, let me apologize to y'all. I very seldom go over to that page, but I really do have to start going over and checking on it. I do get messages there sometimes, and I need to start interacting with it a little bit more. I'm working on it, but I'm getting there. I'm trying to build myself up to where I can master all of the social media sites and become some kind of amazing social media rock star. Now, that's on my list of intentions for this year. So I'm working on it. So just bear with me. If you have not already done so, I'd appreciate it if you go over now and like us on Facebook. Follow us on Facebook. You can also do the same on Instagram. And on YouTube, make sure that when you like us or you subscribe to the channel, that you also click on the bell so that you get a notification when new videos are posted. So, see, that's some quick housekeeping stuff. I don't have a real big long list. Just a couple things I need you to do before we get started. Just a little bit of introduction to what we've been doing for this month. If you can remember, at the beginning of the month, we talked about setting our intentions with Darwood Lovett. She came on and she has a program called Shift Her that she's doing. And it is amazing. If you can, check it out on Facebook. They do have a page. But she came on and she gave us some tips to start setting our intentions. You know, every year, at the beginning of every year in January, we do what? We set resolutions. We make our promises. We make our oaths or whatever we want to call them. With this year, I've read it someplace else, and I wish I could give credit to whoever I read it from, but I don't remember. But I'd rather use the word intentions because these are the things that we really and truly intend to do. So she gave us tips on setting our intentions, how to keep ourselves motivated throughout that process, and then just some things that you can kind of work on, you know, some ideas of how to get that done. And then last week, we sat in on a financial education class with Pastor Anthony Armstrong in Pine Bluff. He is the senior pastor at Unity Christian Fellowship, and I have to make sure I say that right, at Unity Christian Fellowship Church in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. And, you know, every Tuesday night, which is right now, he's actually doing a financial education class. I don't know if he's going to be live tonight, but he does. So make sure if you can, check him out some Tuesday nights also. But we sat in and listened to him talk about starting a business, what structure you should choose. He gave some amazing tax information, particularly for people who are starting a business this year. If you're not sure about the LLC or, you know, what structure you should be in, he gave some really good information about that. So in keeping with that theme of what we want to do and how we want to set intentions for the year and things that we want to do on our list, tonight we're going to talk about one of the most important things, because if this one don't work, it's going to be hard to do the other stuff. But we're going to talk about being healthy and well. And, you know, we can just, there's so much stuff that you could talk about when you start talking about health and wellness. It's such a big, broad topic. But tonight we're going to get some expert advice. And I say that confidently. We're going to get some expert advice on health and wellness. And let's see. I'm trying my best, y'all, to stay on my script, because I'm bad about flying and doing what I want to do. And I'm trying to train myself to stay on script. So, next thing I'm supposed to do. And Q, and for some reason, I keep wanting to call you Q. And I know it's not what we agreed on, it's Key. But for some reason, I have named everybody that's named, my daughter-in-law's name is Quisha. Shaquisha, really, but we call her Quisha. We call her Q. So every time I see QU in somebody's name, I automatically want to call that person Q, but I know that it's not you.
I get that all the time. People do call me Q.
And I thought when I first met you, that's what I called you, but that's okay. We going with Key. So, and make sure I say this right, Kayante.
You got it right.
You know what? I cheated. Let me tell you how.
I was gonna say that's impressive.
Let me tell you how I cheated. I went on your Facebook page. You know, in the part where it says about you and how it tells you how to pronounce folks' names. That's what I looked up. Because it's a very simple name, but you will be amazed at how many people cannot say Wonder.
Because it's so different. I've never met anybody named Wonder. I love it. I'm like, is her name Wonder? Is that the name of the show?
That is my name. But
you'd
be amazed. I've been called Juanita before. And that is nowhere close to Wonder.
Yeah, Juanita is nowhere in that.
Exactly. So, Kayante Fletcher, better known as Key, is here tonight to talk about health and wellness and all things in between. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read your bio, and then we'll give you an opportunity to kind of share some information about yourself. And we're going to get into the show because I need some help. And I'm pretty sure some other folks out there need some too. So Key Fletcher is a health and fitness motivator and a certified group fitness instructor. She is passionate about helping people radically change their lives through developing healthier habits and becoming fit in body, mind, and spirit. I love it. After losing over 70 pounds of her own, her commitment to fitness grew into passion for guiding others through their own journey. She founded KeyFit Life with the mission of providing virtual health and fitness instruction. Currently, she offers live virtual workouts for clients all over the country with 5 different coaches, online support groups, customized nutrition plans, and more. Yes. Oh my God, I'm so impressed. So welcome, lady, to the Ladies Lounge. You've been here before, though. You've been on before. It's been a year or two, but you've been here before.
Yeah.
So welcome back. And if it's anything else you want to share with us, please do.
Awesome. No, well, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to talk to your audience. Wonder, anytime I get a chance to talk about something that I'm very passionate about, which is health and wellness, I jump at it because, like you said, we all need help, right? Like even we all sometimes miss the mark. It's 2021, and I tell people, like, if you have a goal in the beginning of 2021, like, don't let anybody discredit you or say, oh, you're not going to do that. You had that last year. So what?
Yep.
Keep trying, right? Life is about falling down and getting back up. And so this is for sure my passion. But what's crazy is, Wonder, it really, started, oh my gosh, some years back with me being and you said in my bio, I was over 70 pounds overweight, and I started to lose weight, and I would go to the gym, and I loved it. I love group fitness. It's something about like being in a room with other people who are struggling and crying through the pain, just like you. And so I just love, feeding off of other people. But then my life got super busy, and I wasn't able to go to the gym anymore. I'm a busy mom. I have a full-time job. I'm a wife. I'm in all these different things. And I had that gym membership, and I didn't want to let it go, but I wasn't going to the gym. At the same time, I started really becoming passionate and thought about, why don't I get certified, to do something that I absolutely love. And so I ended up getting certified. And in the middle of that, Wonder, I started experiencing great loss in my life. I lost my brother-in-law in his 30s due to a heart attack. And then in the next year, I lost my father-in-law in his 50s due to a heart attack. And then I lost my dad due to a heart attack. And so it was like all these things going on. Like I was trying to get healthy. I was losing all these people. And together I was like, man, I need to do something with their certification. And that's really how KeyFit Life got started. It was really through a lot of loss and pain that I like to say my pain and my passion came together for my purpose. And so I really want to help our people, Wonder, because a lot of us struggle with so many things and we don't know where to start. And we think that you have to have a lot of money or a lot of resources. And we just don't know. And so KeyFit Life is really all about giving people the tools no matter where you are, because everybody doesn't necessarily have access to a gym. Everybody may not necessarily have access to the resources, but if you got a phone, because today even 3-year-olds got a phone, Wonder. So if you got a phone, if you got some type of technology, KeyFit Life is here to help you. From 0 to 99, we want to really change our culture. We're so into technology right now. We're so into, flipping those phones and scrolling that I want to use that technology to help people. And so it's crazy that even before COVID, I started with this. Even before COVID, I was doing virtual. And so it's crazy that I have doubled. I doubled my membership during COVID because people are really antsy about going to the gym. And so it's just been amazing to really be able to touch people's lives through health and fitness. Wonder, listen, I was not an athlete. Like, I was a kid who had my book in my nose in a book. I think the first time I did a push-up is because I had to. Like, the first time I ran was because I had to. So I can identify with women who are struggling, because even today, I don't consider myself an athlete. I'm just somebody who's passionate about health and wellness. And I know what it's like to struggle, to want to have that cookie, to want to have 2 or 3 cookies, to want to have 10 cookies, to want to have the rice and the potatoes. But I really learned how to discipline myself. And so I don't come from a place of somebody who, was the super fit person all their life. I've come from a place of knowing what it's like to start and stop and fail and getting back on the wagon, and over time losing the weight. And even now, as a fitness instructor, I still want to eat cookies. I still want cake, and so it's not something that ever goes away. It's just something that you kind of work every day to be better at with health and wellness.
That's an amazing story. Now, if somebody looked at you, we never knew that you had that extra, that you had 70 pounds, So that's big for a lot of people, because folks lose weight. I'm gonna tell you something that bothered me, I think, and this is a personal thing. I was about, 3 years ago. I want to say I did it in, what is this? Had to been 17, might have been 2017, and I think I lost 62 pounds.
Oh, wow!
And mine was because I developed type 2 diabetes, and had a couple of months where I could not see and didn't know what was wrong, and almost passed out a couple of times. Just all kinds of things were going on. And I finally went to the doctor one day after a threat by one of my coworkers that if I didn't take me, he was going to take me. And I get there, and I think my blood sugar was 300 and something that day. Wow. So got on medication for about a month and realized that this is not working this way. And decided, hey, I need to really change how I eat. I need to change how I move. I need to change everything. And I started really getting serious about the rice and the potatoes and all that stuff. I actually cut carbs out pretty much altogether a couple of different months. So when I lost the 62 pounds, here's the thing that gets me is when people say, oh my God, you look so good now. And it hits you sort of like, well, good Lord, did I look like all hell to be damn earlier? Goodness.
Girl, you look cute today. Oh, I didn't look cute yesterday.
So was I too up that day? And it was so funny that I was at church one Sunday, and this lady kept staring at me. She walked past me twice, and she kept looking at me. I'm like, why does this woman keep walking past me, staring at me? So she was like, you could tell when somebody go, you know what, screw it, I'm just going to ask her. So she came back and she went, excuse me. I said, yes, ma'am. Are you the lady that gets up in church and talk about hard health? I said, yes, ma'am. Girl, I didn't recognize you. And I looked the same. She said, no, you lost a whole bunch of weight. Now, first of all, you don't have to say a whole bunch of.
How much exactly is a whole bunch of?
Exactly. Because I was like, well, God dang, did I have a whole person on my back or something? But it's just people say stuff. And I just said something, so let me apologize. I made one of the dumb remarks just here too, but it just gets me because I'm going, you act like, okay, and there are some women who are plus size. Hey, you got it going, sister. You look good regardless. And I think anybody, if you're comfortable with you, I'm comfortable with you.
That's right.
So that just came to mind when you were saying that, because again, like you said, you're coming from a place where you lost weight to get to a size, and people look at you and say, oh my God, but you're so skinny. Now it works for skinny people too.
Right. Well, and one of the things that I was,
skinny people.
Yeah, there's one of the things that I have a private accountability group for my clients. And one of the things, I posted a photo last week of about 6 women. and they all were 150 pounds, and they all were different sizes. And so the thing about it is, the thing that we always say with KeyFit Life is it is not about a certain size, because at the end of the day, it's about moving. It's about, having a great time. And it's about your health, and it's about, making sure you take care of your body. And you can be, 275 pounds doing it, or you can be 175 pounds. And so we really have to get out of this mentality that healthy is a certain size. I am a very shapely, curvy woman. I will always be, right? I may be, a size small at the top, but I'm never going to lose my hips and my thighs and my butt. And I love that. Like, that is a part of me culturally. It's a part of my ancestry. It's a part of who I am. And so learning to accept all of us, even if you never get to that, ideal weight, but being happy with where you are, and just pushing yourself and moving. And so that's one of the things that we always tell our clients, that it's not about a certain size. When we do challenges and when we set up meal plans, it's not about starving yourself. It's not about getting to an ideal weight. It's about feeling good about yourself. It's about moving. And so we really encourage, we never talk about, oh, come on, let's get skinny or let's get to a certain size. It's like, no, let's move our bodies, because that's what we're intended to do. I always tell people, listen, this is not, 1875. People not working, sun up to sundown anymore. So we're sitting behind desks and we're typing, we just don't have the same mobility and movement. And so that's what we got to do. Folks used to work all day long. It took 8 hours to cook a meal. Yeah. So you didn't burn 1,800 calories just cooking a meal. So, now.
If at the beginning of the class, you start the class off with, let's get skinny, I'm quitting.
Yeah, no.
I'm not skinny in class.
Do you remember the episode of Martin when Martin was teaching a workout class? Like, nah, Martin.
I'm not doing all this. I can't do it.
Yeah. One of the things that my clients love and that I love is, one of my big tips that I tell people when they first start working out, or whether you've been working out for like 10 years, is do what you can, modify. I say that like in every class, and all of our classes have modifications, because that's what life is all about, right? You need to be able to adjust to wherever you are. So I don't expect, somebody who just started to do a full out, burpee or whatever the move is, even with weights, like, do what you can where you are, still challenging and pushing yourself, but being realistic about the expectations that you have for yourself, right? Because, so many people come in and they're gung-ho for 2 weeks, and then people stop because they get discouraged because they feel like it's so overwhelming, because they started up here, right? The goal is to start where you are, then add a little bit more each time, each week, set that intention. So then you feel good about hitting the mark, but if you set it up here and you can never reach that, you'll never feel good about yourself. And so, with KeyFit Life, we're all about in moderation, in modification, like modify. Anybody can take our classes, because Wonder, we have classes. In my classes, I grab a chair. I'm like, hey, if you can't do this move standing, let me show you how we do it on the bench. If you can't get on the floor, let me show you how to use the wall, because I want all of my clients to be comfortable where they are so they can see success for them. For some people, success is just being able to walk, a flight of stairs, right? It's about mobility. It's not all about having a six pack. As we get older, mobility and balance and all those things are important, because we're slipping and we're falling and we're throwing hips out of place and knees out of place. And so it's important to just be able to move. Forget trying to lose. Like, I'm just trying to move. I'm trying to get up in the morning and not feel like, I'm 108. And so, so wholeness, that just thinking about fitness in terms of wholeness and lifestyle, being able to lift your grandkid, being able to pick that pot up, off of the floor, being able to sit on a toilet, like all of those things are a part of health. And those are the things that we work on with KeyFit Life. Again, it's not all about just, being able to, have a six pack or whatever. It's about, life and making sure that you are able to take all of those movements and be able to do those things in life, being able to sit in a car, in a car that sits really low. Those types of things are really important for all of us. So
just getting that flexibility because
Yes.
oh my God, I'm finna say something old. At my age, and I have a birthday coming up next month. At
Uh,
my age, it's about
what age is that, Wonder?
huh?
You said at my age. What age is that?
I'll be 53 next month.
Wow. Love it. Love it.
And I'm so happy for that. I'm waiting on them 53.
You look amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But I at this age now, and oh my God, I'm old enough to say at this age that oh my God. Every day I have these things that come in my head go, okay, you are getting old because you keep saying like, at my age. So anyway, at my age, I'm worried about flexibility. I have some health issues, and I think everybody in the world know I got bad feet. I have a lot of foot problems. So just being flexible and able to get up and walk and just to do the simplest of things now. And I tell you, it's been I've had a flare since right before Thanksgiving. So off and on since Thanksgiving, I've had periods where I've not been able to walk without extreme pain. And a lot of what I do is I will sit on the side of the bed and just do flexing exercises with my feet and my ankles, just to make sure that I can stay strong enough to get up and walk when when I can do it. The other day I went out and bought me some weights so I can start doing me a chair workout because I'm not able to get on the floor because I'm scared if I get down there, I won't be able to get up and I'll be here by myself and I
Yep.
just lay on the floor. So I can sit in my chair and do my exercise. And a friend taught me some years ago about how to use a wall and do different stuff like that. So you're right. Just whatever you can do in modification that makes you feel healthier and makes you feel fit is where you should be. I see these people doing these workouts and you want to run 15 miles and carry a backpack and roll up a hill backwards and push. Oh, no. Heck no. We're not doing all of that.
Yeah.
That's too much. Now I'm not the ultimate warrior. I don't need to do all of that. I just need to lose a couple of 53-year-old pounds. That's all I need to lose. But no, ma'am, I don't need to do all that. And six pack is not in my vocabulary, so we're not gonna worry about trying to get one.
Yeah.
But, just doing things that you can do that make you feel good. That when you work out and you finish, that you feel really good about it. That you were able to even accomplish that much when you get done. So that's the stuff I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Talk more about now. You mentioned something that's really, I guess, big right now because we're in the midst of a pandemic, and I think a friend and I were talking about, when you get your freshman 15 when you first go off to college, we probably have well exceeded 15 in the pandemic.
Woo.
Some folks we probably got pandemic 30, pandemic 40 because you're inside. We're cooking more. We're eating more. We're just kind of inside a little bit, a whole lot more than we were. If you're not working outside home, I work from home. So even just the little bit of walking back and forth to the car every day is not happening now. So talk about how what you do, because your virtual program to help folks that are at home right now.
Yeah. And so what you're saying is so true. And the statistics and studies show that even in 2021, a large majority of people who used to go to the gym are not going to go anytime soon. Again, just because of that fear that has set in, with the pandemic. And, Wonder, when it first started, like March of last year is kind of when it, really hit. I was home just like, a lot of other people who could afford to be home, whose jobs had, shut down for a while. And I want to talk about children. So my daughter was extremely active. She did a lot of things. And so we went from that to her being at home. And I just noticed that she wasn't getting the movement that she needed. And so immediately what we decided to do with KeyFit Life is to offer classes for children for free. Mm-hmm. Because we know that health and fitness and wellness is great for us, but it's also great for kids. Mm-hmm. And so we started offering the virtual classes twice a day, probably for about 2 months. And then when the summer hit, we kind of did like one class a day, like Monday through Thursday or something like that. But mm-hmm. we went all the way through the summer, and then we actually picked it back up in the fall, and we had a program for the winter. But my point in keeping with that is it's important not only just for us to be healthy, but it's also important for our children as well. And so we want to be good role models, good stewards of how to take care of our kids, how to take care of our selves so our children can see a reflection of that. Mm-hmm. A lot of people wonder, a lot of my clients initially, they'll be like, I don't quite know. I like doing the gym. I don't know what this live thing is like. And so when they do it, though, they get addicted to it because it's just like you and I, like we're in the class, it's quite a few of us. And I'm looking at you like, Wonder, like, I'm gonna need you to give me a little more. I'm gonna need you to push a little harder. Like, I see you laying on the floor. I'm gonna need you to get up. Yeah. And so, we come in, I'm like, listen, I don't care if you got your hair bonnet on, put on a rig, so the thing that they loved about it during COVID is they didn't have to get prepared, in a sense of you don't have to get clothes on and, go to the gym and find somebody to watch your kid, or like you can put your food on, get your workout in and then go back in there and finish cooking your food. Like you don't have to leave the house. And so especially during the pandemic, that convenience is so important when we are home. A lot of people are home with their kids. They're home with their grandkids. They're doing homeschooling and those types of things. The convenience of it has really, really been helpful. The other thing is because we are at home more and we aren't going out, even mentally, we need to be consistently, because not only physical health, but our mental health has really been affected. And so we are eating more. We are gaining more weight because it's stressful. We don't know when this thing is going to end. We haven't, we are made for fellowship. Like God created us for fellowship, to be in communion with each other. So we're not able to go out, have drinks, hang out like we used to, so we're feeling that we aren't able to see our loved ones, our families, our parents. So all of that coupled with the pandemic, coupled with people that have kids at home, you need a way to be able to relieve that stress. And one of the ways you do that is by exercise. Of course, studies show that those endorphins are released when you can actually exercise and move your body. So it's been a great help during the pandemic because, not only are we consistently moving, not only are we getting healthy, you don't have to leave the house. And then there's a whole meal plan that goes along with that. And of course, we have support with our accountability group. So it's been really, really fun, gaining a ton of new clients and getting people who thought they were like, who were like gym rats to try a virtual studio and loving it. And like not wanting to leave has been absolutely amazing. The transformation, like Wonder, when I started a couple of years ago, like I never thought I would be, doing this. I was just like, hey, I like doing this. My husband and I were teaching boot camp classes before. We're like, let's get a couple of people together and see if people will be interested in virtual. And the magic happened. I didn't even know it was a thing. Like, I didn't even know people were doing it. Like, how people go and Google stuff and look up stuff. I didn't even do that. I was like, I'm just going to see if we can, and so when I see other people, I'm like, wow, it was other people was doing that too. I didn't even know that people would, jump on board. I just knew that I needed something for me. And I was like, if I know that I don't have the time to go out and go to the gym, other people must be feeling that too. And during the pandemic, when people are not wanting to go out because, COVID is real in these COVID streets. I know that other people, are feeling that stress and strain, but we need a way to kind of relieve that. And so that's what KeyFit Life does. We provide the opportunity for virtual fitness, no matter where you are. And the fact we have recording. So if you don't want to get out of bed at 5 a.m., Wonder, are you a 5 a.m. person?
No, ma'am.
You look like a 5 a.m. person. I can tell.
I'm going to go to bed at 5 a.m. person. No. Okay. See, this is why I can't lose no weight. Somebody is over, you can't see them, but they're off camera showing me a box of food. Go away. Oh my God. No. Oh my God. No. He brought me fish. No. If I show her that, she's going to make me run laps.
Let me see. Let me see. Show me. Let me see it.
I eat the whole thing. Wait a minute. Can you see it?
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I'm not gonna eat the whole thing. I promise not.
Is there smell-o-vision? Can I smell it?
I am a catfish maniac. So
somebody online is like, somebody said, don't do it, Wonder.
Come on, Miss Janelle. I can have at least 2 pieces. Come on.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not gonna eat the bread. I'm not gonna eat the fries.
Somebody is asking, Rhonda is asking about her stomach and she
Oh, go ahead if you can answer a question.
yeah, and she's saying, hey, it's my biggest problem. I need help with that. They're very subconscious about that. I think probably for women, we tend to gain weight around our really, we have midsection, but usually it's around our thighs, our hips, and those places. But the number one question that I get asked, and one of our most popular classes is our ab class, because everybody wants to know, how do I get rid of that? And I'll be honest, it's not doing like 100 sit-ups or 100 crunches or, planks. It really is about what you eat. Okay. Abs are made in the kitchen. And so letting go of some of those foods that are high in fat are the best things. So I know you said you kind of don't eat, that you don't eat a lot of carbs. And, if that works for you, that's great. But you don't have to not eat carbs. It's just limiting the amount of carbs. What I find so often when you talk about what people in the kitchen and what people are eating is we are eating way too many carbs. And so, listen, I'm from Louisiana, like rice country. We eat rice for breakfast. We eat rice for lunch. We eat rice for dinner. We eat rice with greens. We eat rice with cabbage. We eat rice with beans. We eat rice with eggs. We eat rice with potatoes. Like we eat rice with almost anything except macaroni and cheese. So we're like Forrest Gump when it comes to rice. There's all kinds of rice. So instead of eating like a half cup of rice, which is about a serving, right? We usually eat about 2 cups of rice, right? And then we're going to put like some cornbread or some light bread or something on the side. Then we're going to have something that's fried and breaded. Or we have corn, which is really kind of a starchy carb. And so really we've just got to be more conscientious about what we eat. But abs are made in the kitchen. And so if you can kind of cut your carbs out and cut those things that are high in fat, you'll for sure see a change in that. And my number one tip, Wonder, that I always tell people, my number one health tip that people and my clients know this. I'm like, what is the number one health tip? The most important thing that you can do for your body. And those of if somebody's watching, they know I always say it is to drink water. Period. There you go.
64 ounces twice a day.
That's it. Yeah. And because I always say your body doesn't know the difference. Your body does not know the difference between being hungry and thirsty. So like sometimes you think you're hungry and you're really thirsty. And so I always tell people, make sure you drink water first. Get you a nice cup of water. Let that marinate. You see, it was something too when our parents said you better drink some water and go to bed. They knew we weren't hungry. They knew it. See that? Yeah. So, my number of things, always drink water first. Get your cup of water even before you eat your meal. Drink that cup of water and then eat your meal. But water is so important for circulation, for our skin, for our hydration, like for weight loss. Water is just the number one thing. And now, mind you, you don't have to drink 100 gallons of water a day, because you do get water in some of the things you eat. But drink water. We don't drink nearly enough water. So for the lady that was talking about her stomach, I would say water and cutting out fats, high fat foods, and watching those carbs. Yeah.
I still eat some. I just don't eat as much. And if I do, if there's a choice between having 2 carbs on a plate, I'll choose one. Yes. Like I won't eat bread and potatoes or corn and this or something. I'll just choose one of them. That way, then I only get, do your handful thing. Only get maybe like a tablespoon or 2 spoonfuls or the serving spoon size. Yeah. And that's about enough. And that's probably, if you really measure, it's probably like a half a cup. Yeah. So half a serving. So I try not to eat a lot of carbs, and I try not to eat them, especially later in the day. If I do something, I try to eat them very early. Like lunch, I might eat bigger for lunch, but for dinner, I try not to eat as much stuff. So I'm only going to eat about 2 pieces of fish. Now, they were very small pieces, so I might have to, double it. But I ain't going to.
And see, the inner kid or the inner woman in me that loves, and then this is crazy. I don't even eat meat, but I love meat. I love it. Like I don't eat it, but I don't love it. But I love it. The inner kid in me, when I saw that fish, because I'm a New Orleans girl, I immediately thought, fish, put me some hot sauce on it, give me some light bread and some potato salad. Like that is, and some baked beans with it. Like, No, I don't need no salad. I don't need no green beans. Like that is my brain. Like that is how my brain functions, even after all these years. But I know, Key, you just talking. You're not gonna do that. But
Yeah.
and so a lot of times, like you said, we'll eat way too many carbs, and carbs are not horrible. I don't want anybody to think that our body needs that for fuel. We need it. But the thing about it is, like you said, we just eat way too much of it. And breakfast is one of the challenges because, like, again, grits, biscuits, oatmeal. And so once you eat grits, you're done. Like you don't need not another carb, so it's like, not another. You good. So pick one, biscuits or pancakes. Yeah.
I'm a grit person. Oh, I love grit.
I do too. I love grits. I absolutely. I'm thankful that being vegetarian, I can still eat grits, because if I couldn't eat grits, I probably wouldn't be a vegetarian.
Now I'm just like, I think that was her name was Rondra. I didn't read that right. It was Rondra. I told you I need to put my eyes back on so I can see folks' names right. Rondra. Honey, I'm having stomach problems too. Same thing. I'm trying to get rid of it again. I lost it one time before and then messed around and got sick and it came back, and now I'm trying to lose it again. But yeah, but just watching my carbs and trying to move around as much as I can when I can. And like I said, I'm starting my little chair routine so I can kind of burn some top part. The bottom part, I have nothing left. So I'm trying to burn the top part now.
But Wonder, those weights are going to be awesome. Like once you get those weights, because of course, with weights, you burn calories like even while you're sleeping. So that's the great thing about, and you don't have to just use like free weights, even your body weight. If you do exercises with your body weight, but anything where you're using weights and you're using that resistance, it's going to burn a ton more calories than anything else. Even than just walking. So getting those weights, because the weights, when you use them, even sitting, is strengthening your core. So, yeah, you keep going and you get that. You get it down a little bit. Just don't eat all that fish.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna try not to. I'm not making any promises. I ate a very lunch. I'm not making any promises tonight. I'm gonna finish this water.
That's a lot of water to finish tonight. You're gonna be running.
Wow. Trust that, honey. When I sleep, I'm sleep. I get no more. So I'll be fine. But I do it try to do it every day, really. And I drink sometimes 2 of these a day.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I try to do one in the evening. I'm late now because I should have been finished. I was supposed to be finished before 7. And of course, I'm running late today, but I'm going to finish it before I go to bed. But I am going to eat some fish. I just ain't going to promise you I'm going to eat a lot of fish. Now, I told you I'm not going to eat the fries and the bread. I'm just going to eat the meat and the corn.
Okay. At least you're eliminating that. That's good. I'm
gonna take out some of the stuff I don't need to eat. But as long as I got a bottle of hot sauce, I'm good. I can tear that up. I'll be good. My catfish and my hot sauce and coleslaw, I'm good. Now, you got me on food. So let's talk about food prep. Because the other part of us being healthy and well is that not only are we supposed to, you got to watch what you're eating, but we need to talk more about how to prepare stuff. Because sometimes that last minute eating, a lot of folks, you notice that when the ban kind of lifted and we could go back out again, every parking lot at every restaurant is packed full. It's because folks are tired of eating at home cooking.
Yep.
What happens? You go right back out to the restaurants and you start eating all this high fat food again. And of course, we get pandemic 35, 40, 90 pounds, whatever it is we gain since this thing has been going on. So let's talk more about, some about how to prepare foods ahead of time so that we can kind of combat that a little bit.
Yeah, it's funny when you say that. When my husband and I first moved here, we were so surprised that like Sunday through Saturday, all the parking lots in every restaurant would be full. I'm talking about Monday nights. Like, damn, do these folks cook? Like the parking lots, like no lie, the parking lots in every restaurant would always be full. Yep. So that was, side note, but that was just always fun for us. The first thing I always tell people, Wonder, even before they start meal prepping, is to do a self-evaluation. You have to know where you are and why you are where you are. I am a person who is, I'm addicted to food. I didn't know that in the beginning. What that means is I like to eat just because it's Monday, because it's Friday.
Because I woke up.
Because it's in front of me. And so like, so from in my brain, like it's good and I want it. And so I'm going to eat it. And so you have to know that about yourself first. So you have to do a self-evaluation to figure out where you are. Okay, so if you don't have a problem with food, you're just not eating healthy things, and you can easily kick that, then fine. If you know you're an emotional eater, you need to know that, because you need to know what your triggers are. Like for me, my trigger is food. Like it's just food, which is very difficult because people who have problems with, let's just say, cigarettes or alcohol, like you can kick that, right? But with food, we have to have that in order for our bodies to go. And so when you struggle with food, it's really difficult because it's not like you just can't eat it. So I always tell people, number one, you have to do a self-evaluation, self-check. Okay, so how did I grow up? How was I raised? What was I taught about food? Where does that stem from? So first, kind of doing a self-check to figure out, what does my focus need to be? Okay, so because a lot of times people just jump. It's the same way when you go to the gym, right? You have to fill out that evaluation form. They want to know all your history. When you first go to a doctor, they want to know all your history so they know how to diagnose, so they know how to treat you. It's the same way when it comes to food. You need to do a self-evaluation, a self-check, so you know your history, so you know how to move forward and how to win. Everything doesn't work for everybody. Some people may like one diet and they have great success. That may not work for you. Don't keep doing that diet if it doesn't work for you. If a low carb diet doesn't work for you, try something else. And so those are the things I like to tell people, like, you got to sweep around your own front door. Don't do what Susie and, Larry and Jesse did. You have to figure out what works for you. And that first starts with a self-evaluation, right? Listen, if you don't like salad, why are you doing a salad diet?
Oh my God.
Don't do that. Like, you see that if you don't like it, then if you like green beans, eat green beans. You know what I'm saying? If you like baked chicken, eat baked chicken 5 days a week. And so I always say, know where you are. Don't try to fit into a model, because then you're not going to be successful. You're going to go for 1 or 2 days, maybe a week, and then you're going to quit. You got all these meal prep containers in the cabinet. You ain't used none of them. And you right back. Yeah, so sweep around your own front door. So that's number one. Evaluate yourself, know where you are, set realistic expectations. If you know you don't like eating the same thing 5 days a week, forget that meal prep photo that you saw of the same thing. Don't do that. If you know, I'm just going to meal prep one meal every day and it's going to be different. Can you do that? What does your schedule look like? Does your schedule allow you to meal prep one different meal a day? Does it? If it doesn't, don't do that. Just prep for 2 days and then do another 2 days. And so you got to kind of know where you are. We look at these pictures on social media and all these other folks. That stuff is fake. That stuff ain't real. This is real life. Know where you are. And so that's what I like to tell people. Be realistic. So when it comes to meal prep, you ain't got to have these plastic pretty meal prep containers. You know, them Tupperware containers, them old school green ones, use it. Like, if all you got is a paper plate, use it. All right. It's not about having a nice, pretty container. Meal prep is about having a plan and being consistent with that plan, right? Meal prep is knowing how much should I be eating for the results that I want. So if my results is I just want to maintain my weight, then there's a lot of calculators out there. If you know you not doing a lot of moving, but you know you need to lose weight, it gives you a certain formula. Follow that formula, right? Again, where I see kind of where a middle line is for most people. Again, everybody's different, but most people probably need to be eating at least 4 servings of vegetables a day, about 4 cups of vegetables a day. Most people need about 4 to 5 servings of protein a day. Most people, I'm talking about if you want to lose weight. Most people need about 3 servings of fruit a day. Most people, if you're trying to lose weight, you only eat about 2 servings of carbs a day. That's a cup. That's it. And if you're trying to lose weight, right? And so it's now that you know that, right? If that's where you are, then you plan your day out. Okay, so I know, let's just say I know I'm probably going to want to go to McDonald's and get me that biscuit. But if you go to McDonald's and get you that biscuit, you done with carbs for the day. That's it. So now what are you going to do for lunch? You know you don't like salads. Don't go eat no salad. You're going to be sad. Get something get something you like. Food should make you happy. It really should. Like, yes, we eat to live, but I just don't like when people like deprive themselves and their whole thing is like baked chicken, broccoli with no flavor, and like green beans. Like, if you don't want to eat, don't do that.
I keep saying that over and over again, and I'm going, oh my God, y'all do know it's more food out there to eat.
Yes, girl,
I think that we go into deprivation mode. The word diet makes people go into deprivation mode. So the first thing you say is, "Oh, I cannot have anything that's good," and you go and strip everything. Menu, and I'm going, no.
They throw everything out. You don't have to. Now you're walking around with a headache, and you're hungry, and you're mad at everybody.
You don't understand that you're mad because you ain't had enough fat in your body.
You hangry. Like, you can still have your cabbage, your greens, your chicken. You can, if you want to eat pork, you can eat pork if that's what you do, right? Everything is just in modification. You can still have your little bit of salt. You can still have your little bit of pepper. And so that's what I tell people. And that's one of the things that we like to do in the accountability group. We like to share and be very, very realistic about the expectations that you have when it comes to meal prep. It's finding something you like, being realistic with it, and then setting your goal according to those guidelines and sticking with it. One of the things I always like to tell people to do, Wanda, is when you're starting something new, tell everybody. Because what people like to do is they like to start and stop in secret. I don't tell nobody. I'm gonna keep it to myself. So then that way, when they fail, don't nobody know. Like when I first started doing this, like now people on my job, like I can't even if they wanted to. We know we ain't gonna include Key because she ain't gonna eat that. I'd be like, what if I did want some sweet potato pie? Like, what if I did? So people watch me, not only because, of course, who I am, but because I started setting that expectation. I would let my daughter, she like, baby, mommy's about to do this. Okay, and so my baby be like, Mom, are you supposed to be eating that? Like, didn't you say? So have some accountability, have somebody hold you accountable. It doesn't have to be somebody that's doing it with you. It doesn't have to be somebody that, is actually eating, but it's just somebody that can hold you accountable and be like, Wonder, how many pieces of fish did you have today? Wonder, did you meal prep today? Wonder, did you do this? And then that way, again, that accountability piece is really key when it comes to food. Again, in our accountability group, we all hold each other accountable, but so often, we are afraid. We don't want to tell nobody. I'm like, why? When you lose 50 pounds, you want to tell everybody.
Yes.
So why don't you want to tell somebody that you're starting something that could potentially be huge for your life? So yeah, meal prep is really just all about being consistent, having a plan, and eating what you like. Write down all the foods you like, and then according to where you want to be, you portion those out for the week or for the day. And then you just stick with it. I found it super helpful, Wonder, because for me, I lead a really busy life. And sometimes I'm not always able to, especially being a vegetarian, and literal, it's hard. So I'm glad sometimes I can just come home and grab something, out of the refrigerator that's already prepared. Because if I don't, I come in the house, just stuffing peanuts and broccoli and carrot, I got a couple of pieces of chocolate. I'm just stuffing everything in my mouth. So again, meal prep is just about having a plan and being prepared. And it doesn't mean that you're going to do it every week. You may have those weeks where life just ain't going like it should be. And that's okay. But you have the tools to know how to get back on track because you started meal prep. Because, that's all the buzz now. Meal prep. And again, people think about all these containers. That's not what meal prep is about. It's just about being consistent and having a plan and trying to stick to it the best way you can and enjoying your food.
Now, something I will add to that is also looking at how you've been preparing stuff in the past. Because a lot of the ways, now you're from New Orleans, I'm from Dulman School in Grady. And I made a joke when I used to do heart presentations about how much we like fried food. I said, if we could fry water, we would. We fry everything. Girl, if it ain't deep fried, you don't want it. And if it has to be two things, three things. It has to be buttery, sugary, and fried. Or else you didn't cook nothing. And I remember my grandmother's was those folks that's like, this food ain't worth nothing. I ain't hitting on nothing. Because the butter ain't dripping off of it, ain't no grease on it, and it ain't full of sugar. looking at, like you said, do that self-evaluation. Because if we look back at how we were raised and different stuff that we ate growing up and how it was cooked, a lot of the problem was not the food, it was just how we prepared it.
Right.
But again, yeah, most everybody that oh my God, Roger said she from Google, butter is key. She right. She told me lots of butter. So, but looking at how we cook the stuff, I'm people like we'll just say candy yams. Now I will eat a sweet potato standing upside down on my head any day. I love sweet potato. But as I got older and I started having issues with diabetes and having some health issues, I don't do yams anymore. You can actually still do baked sweet potatoes and they taste just as good. If you want to put a little bit of butter on them, have just a little bit of butter and put some cinnamon on it and call it a day. We don't have to have them swimming in the syrup. Now, back in the country, Rhonda can attest to this. In the country, when you get candy yams, you could like dip the syrup on the candy yams and pour it off. That's a meal by itself if you do it.
Yeah. But it's dessert. I'm like, man, that's dessert. That ain't like...
that's dinner and dessert. So just knowing that there's some different ways to cook something. We did a challenge at our church. It's been some years ago. But I know most people have heard of Southern Ain't Fried Sunday by Minority Health. And one of the things that I challenged all the members to do was I said, okay, you have to bring soul food to church, but it cannot be fried or it can't be salty, and it can't have something else I told them it couldn't have in it. And they were like, you cannot cook healthy soul food. I'm like, yes, you can. It is all in the way you prepare your food. So I gave them recipes. I was like, I need you to follow the recipe. If it tells you low to no sodium, don't put any salt in it, or don't, use what they tell you to use. And when we had our meal that Sunday after service, everybody was like, oh my God, we're eating soul food and it's actually healthy. Because guess what? There wasn't that 1 inch of butter that's normally floating on top of the potatoes was not there. That other inch of fat that's normally floating on top of whatever meat you prepared, it wasn't there. People grilled or they baked or they braised things, and you going, see, doesn't it taste just as good as it did if you deep fried it or fried it or made it with all that salt and sugar and all that fat in it? And it was amazing. We had an awesome dinner that day. But folks were amazed that we can eat healthy soul food. Yeah, you don't have to put the pig feet or the pork, fat back in the greens anymore. Use smoked turkey. There's other alternatives to getting that flavor and getting what you want, and it's healthier. Use chicken broth. Skim the fat off of it first. So it's a whole lot of different ways that you can cut back on things without losing the foods that you really, really like to eat. You just need to change how you prepare them sometimes. So when I learned that, and it took me a little bit to get hold to it, because I'm also a congestive heart disease survivor. So it took me a while to understand I cannot eat the same way as how I ate, how I was raised. If I keep eating, I'm gonna die.
And it's a process of getting used to it, because again, for some of us culturally, we're so used to eating it a certain way that we think if we eat it any different, it just ain't right. But like you said, there's so many different resources, there's so many different recipes, there's so many different things out there that you, like you said, you can take the very same thing and you can mix it up and still have it taste just as good, still have it be just as healthy, and still have it be just as flavorful. So for sure, and the great thing about social media now is there's all types of recipes and things that you can find on YouTube and that you can find on the internet. All these great ways that you can really kind of transform your meal. And it doesn't take a whole lot of work. The only thing you really have to have is just the desire to kind of want to switch it up and the desire to kind of want to do something, different than what you've been doing before. Oh, so it looks like hopefully Wonder will pop back in. The other thing that I want to talk about when it comes to meal prep is a lot of times what I've been seeing a lot with my clients when it comes to meal prep is what you prepare. And so what I mean by that is, I know growing up, we ate a lot of canned goods. Like we didn't really eat a lot of frozen vegetables. Like canned goods is what we had. We had canned corn, we had canned beans, we had canned any veggie you can think about, we had it in the can. Nowadays, a lot of people have been switching to frozen. People have been doing like frozen green beans, frozen, cauliflower, frozen broccoli, all of those things. But now you also have a lot of those things that are frozen in the bags, but they're in some type of sauce, right? Or they're buttered or they're seasoned. And so one of the things I always like to try to tell my clients is be careful of that, and be prepared and try to steer away from those vegetables that you get in the freezer that are frozen and that are not just straight the vegetable. So if you see it and it's in some type of butter sauce, it's in a wine sauce, it's like, it's fried and frozen or something like that. Anything other than, kind of straight flash frozen, flip that bag over, take a look at it, see, how much sodium it has in it. See how many calories it is, see how much saturated fat it is, because a lot of times, we're eating those foods and we think that they're healthy and they may not necessarily be, because they're not just, regular green beans or corn or veggies or whatever that is. So that's kind of one of my tips when you guys are thinking about meal prep, and we're trying to eat, because a lot of times, a lot of us are busy and we're working, and we want something quick, but we want something healthy. And so sometimes we're not always choosing, the right thing, but a lot of times it's because we don't know. We assume that just because it's in the frozen section that it's going to work. And we assume that just because it's in the frozen section, that it's healthy. And one of the things that you see a lot now, in the items, there's all these buzzwords, that we see on our foods, that it's 100%, farm raised, right? Or that it doesn't have any, steroids or any, antibiotics. But all of these buzzwords that make us think that items are healthier. And so I would just say, be careful and, what you're buying, be careful and watching your labels, and turn those products over to see actually what really is in them. The final thing that I would want to say, about meal prep, because that's the portion, that we're talking about, is when you are prepping, it is very, very, this is probably one of my top tips for meal prep is, when you're meal prepping, make sure that it is something that you like. Make sure it's something that you like. I don't get why people prep stuff that they don't like, but just because it's healthy, right? If you don't like greens, or if you don't like Brussels sprouts, if you don't like asparagus, don't meal prep that. Okay. Make sure that you're taking the time to meal prep and eat the things that are going to fuel your body. Okay. So we have a few minutes. We have a few minutes left. I just want to share a couple of more resources with you guys about KeyFit Life, about how you can get in touch with us. And so again, we provide virtual online fitness. So that means no matter where you are, if you're at your house, if you're at the park, if you're at work, all you have to do is push play. And we have 5 coaches, and we have several classes. We have classes every day of the week, from Zumba to body sculpt to cardio to yoga, dance fusion, and everything in between. We have a variety of classes for all clients and all fitness levels. We also have recordings, because we understand that sometimes people don't always have the time to actually be able to join a live class. And so there are also recordings available for KeyFit Life that people can use as well. And so if clients are interested, or if you want to know more about KeyFit Life, and how you can join, we would invite you to visit us at keyfitlife.com. Again, that's keyfitlife.com. You can also visit us on our social media. You can visit us on our Facebook page at KeyFit Life. And then you can also visit us on our Instagram page at KeyFit Life as well. And all of those resources are available to you. And we currently have some great deals and specials going on to get people ready for the new year. And so we invite you to just check us out. Again, we are so thankful, Wonder, for you inviting us to the Ladies Lounge tonight. We had a great time talking with everybody. And I just want to encourage you guys to get healthy, to get moving, and have an amazing Tuesday. Thank you.